Hey everyone, welcome to Coding Wizards. My name is Akash Sharma. I have 7 years of experience in Android development. So we have started the Flutter course for the beginners, and in the previous video we have talked about what we get when we create a new Flutter project. So I have explained the folders, file structures, all the files, importance of those, and I have also explained the counter default code which we get when we create a new Flutter project. So if you haven't watched that video or the previous videos where we have covered Dart basics in detail, so those will be very useful when we start developing a full-fledged app. So I will recommend that you should first cover those videos, then watch this video. In this video we will cover widgets, basic widgets, all the type of widgets like containers, columns, rows, stack, cards, and combination of those. So we will see how we can make a beautiful and functional screens like these I will explain all these things, like how we can arrange, like we can create something like this or this or this. So stay tuned. In this video we will cover let's remove this code that we get by default, and I have created a screen, dashboard screen, and have some buttons in that. So we will write the code from scratch, live code, so that you can better understand how this thing works, and we'll show you the output also. So let's start the project. So first we will talk about the containers. Like containers, mostly we will use containers for decorating any card, layout, widget, giving icon, giving it color, border, radius, a lot of things. Like we can define add a gradient background or solid color. We can give it a like border like this or corner radius. So all these things are available in the container. So we'll start with that, then we'll move to the card. So what is the difference between container and the card? Then we will see how we can arrange containers inside the column. Instead of containers we can like use image, text, anything, but containers will be solid colored. So in this video we will I will focus more on the arrangement, how we can arrange our widgets inside rows, columns and stack, rather than focusing on the styling or text, image. We will talk about these things in the later videos. So here is the, let's move it here. So we have all these options like this one. So we will let's open the screen, container screen. So it doesn't have anything, it is just a placeholder. So let's add a container only. Let's see what it will show in the screen. So if we click on the this, and this is the default, so we don't have any color, we don't have scaffold. We have also, I have also explained the scaffold in the previous lecture, so you can watch that. So let's add a color property inside this. Let's add a color. So let's say we add white. So this is the white color. So if we don't have anything, just adding the containers. So if we add anything inside that, let's see, if we have added the text name data, then data will be under the status bar. So better wrap it with the like base, like root layout always should always be scaffold, so that we get the arrangement. So here we can add a container, so like this. Then inside this we can add a text like data. So data is also under the status bar, but it is very small, because when we add a scaffold on top of like containers, so we get the basic styling, so the text, theme, all the things. So when we showed you only the text, so it has no styling. See, it is red with the underline that it doesn't have any material layout on top of that, like in the full widget tree. So when we use container, it provides a default theme for the text styling, so we get that. So if we add app bar inside that, app bar and a title, let's say add home page, container page, let's name it container screen. See, the it has come out of status bar. When we add a app bar, so scaffold will manage the body itself, so it won't go inside the under the status bar. So what if we don't have app bar and still don't want to get our body inside the status bar, so we wrap it inside the safe area. So safe area ensures that our content, our body remains in the visible space, not under the like status bar or in navigation bottom buttons like which we get in the devices. So data like body remains fully visible, it won't go under the status bar or navigation buttons. So that's the use of safe area. If we add safe area here, it is like not recommended because it will black out the status bar and the bottom navigation button, so not recommended. Always use a scaffold as a root. Then if you don't have app bar, then wrap body inside the safe area. If you have app bar, then you don't need to add it in wrap inside the safe area because it will manage itself. So body will be always below the status bar. So let's start with the container. So basic, you have understood the scaffold, how we can manage the status bar and navigation buttons, and let's see what we have here. So in this section we have a basic box. We have a box which has a border and a color. So when we need some color in the background in any card, so we use container for that. We have cards also, so we will talk about the differences also. So when we want to give it a color, then we have a color. So let's add it a color. So see, if don't have any specified any height or width, it will default wrap the content. So whatever the child's height or width, the container will wrap around it, so it will have only that much space. And if we have added the height and width, so it will take that height and width. If we want to fill it across the width, so for that we need double dot infinity. So double dot infinity ensures that whatever height or width available for this widget, it will take all of the height or width. Let's say we have defined the width to take all the available space, so it has taken all, and we have defined height as 100, so it is taking only 100. Similarly, if we define infinity here also, so it will fill whole screen. So that's the use case of height and width, and it is optional. We don't if we don't give it, so it will default wrap it. And if we have row inside that, so it will expand the space across the width. So that's the how it behaves. So we have a background, so let's give it a pink so that it matches the pink accent. So we have pink accent, so we can also make it little bit lighter like this. Okay, so next let's remove the data from here, we don't need that for this example. See, if we have the color and the width and the height, it is taking full width and there is no space outside it. And also if we want to like specify the space out of this box, so we can give it a padding. So here we have edge insets dot all, and we have defined padding of 16. And the padding difference between padding and margin is, let's say let's use here margin. So margin is always applied outside the box like this, and when we give padding, padding is applied inside the box. Let's visualize it, child, and we add another container. Then we have another color like gray or green. We give it 100 by 100. So let's see that. I think it will take full. Okay. So, and if we define Shamisu, okay, so here we define the padding all and 16. See, so when we given the margin, it is applying outside the box, and when we define the padding inside the container, so it is applying inside the box. Whatever content we pass in, the child will leave the 16 space from all sides and will render it in the available space. So difference is clear. Margin is from the outside box and padding is inside the box. Then next we have a border. We have covered this screen, like we make it gray, so, and make it pink accent, so like this. We have covered this one. Let's see the example of this one, adding a border. So let's remove, let's keep this so that you get the code in the Git repository. So let's say we want to add a border around this one. So for that, when we pass decoration, we have option for the decoration. Inside that we pass box decoration. And now if we define the color here also, because there is also a color property inside the decoration, so it will show some error that you cannot define color at both the places. So we have to remove this color so that we can use a color inside the decoration. And we have a border property. So this one is border. So border dot all, then we have color, then we can remove alpha and rest. Then we can give the stroke size also. Then we have also the radius, and it will be border radius dot circular, and let's say add 12. See, let's minimize this and scale this. So this one, it has a border around it, and it has a border. So if we remove this part, border radius, so it will remove the radius, it will make it rectangular. So this is the default container, the styling that we can do. Like this is a margin from the outside box, this is a padding from inside the box, and this is the whole container. So this is the behavior. So let's move to the another section, because there are a lot of things we need to cover in this video itself. So next we will talk about the cart. So container has a lot of other properties also. If we go inside that, we have alignment, how we want to align the childs inside that. We have padding, we have seen the color example, we have decoration also. We have seen the decoration example where we have passed the box decoration, and we have defined the color, border and radius. We have height and width. We have constraint also. So if you want to constrain the box around, like let's say want to give it maximum width, minimum width, kind of things. We have margin, we have seen it, we have child. And inside the box decoration, we have inside this one, we have gradient option. We can set the gradient also, color, we can also set the image, border radius, box shadow also. So all the things are available. So for the basic idea, you get to know what is the container and how we can style something. Whenever we need something with the background, we use container for that. Container or card, if we want to want the material look and feel, like want some elevation. Let's see the card example also. So go back and go to the cards. It has a placeholder. Let's quickly add a scaffold and app bar and title and text. card screen. So then we have a body outside this, then we have a card. Let's see how it looks. So we have added column row, sorry, let's copy this column row screen, go to the card screen and paste it here. Okay, so this is a card screen. So we have defined, let's add something inside that so that it takes the space. So we have added the data and it wrapped it. So let's define the size also. We have size, we don't have size for it. So let's add a column inside this. When we add column, it will fill it, and we have a text. So it has filled it, filled the maximum height, and let's add it with the size box. Whenever we want to give any element, any widget only height and width, we can use the size box, and if we have requirement of color styling, then we use the container. The most commonly asked interview question is what is the difference between size box and container. So size box has only two properties or three properties: height, width and the child, and container has height, weight, decoration, color. There are a lot of things. So when we need only height and width, we can use size box. When we need height, width with the padding, color or decoration, we can use container. So container has everything, like we can add margin, we can add padding, we can add color, we can add gradient, we can add border and border radius. So lot of things. So let's remove column, we don't need it here. So we have given it height, that this card should be height of 100 and fill it with the max available width. So you can see the little shadow on the bottom side. So when we create a container, it won't have any shadow, it will be flat. But when we use card, it has a shadow and has lesser customization option than the container. So it has, we can give it a color, we can define a surface tint color, the whenever it goes in or out of the, like in the scroll view, we can define the elevation. We have shape option inside that. So inside the shape, we can define the border radius and the border. Let's see what we have written. We want to create the same. So okay, and then we have margin. We don't have any padding inside this, so we can add first margin, agent sets. So let's add padding of 16 from all sides, then it's move to the end. Then we have shape. Inside the shape, we pass round rectangle border, and inside this we can pass the radius, like border radius dot circular, and we can pass like 12. Then we have side, we can pass border side, color, pink, we can pass width that we want it to see. So now it has got let's add pink accent, it looks better. Okay, so this is the margin area from the outside, and we don't have padding inside that. So if we want a padding, we can wrap it inside the padding. We have a separate padding widget, so that we can add a padding inside and outside the widgets whenever we want. So this is the let's add a color also, so that we match the color, pink accent dot with alpha and 100. Let's reduce it so that okay. So this is the default, like this is how card will look. Like it has a little bit shadow on the bottom because of the radius, it is not clearly because of the border, it is not clearly visible. And this is the container. So container doesn't have any shadow, and it has built-in margin and padding, but card doesn't have padding, but it has margin option. So we have given the margin. So if we wrap it inside the container and give it a color like white, so it will be clear. So let's make it little bit grayish so that it becomes visible. So see, in the container we have size box and the card has a margin, so margin is applied outside the card. And see, if we have wrapped it with the container also and size box also, so we can remove this useless size box because we have height and width inside the container also. So we can remove unnecessary widgets in the widget tree. So we can, whenever we use container, and we also, if we have a child inside the container as a size box or padding, we can remove that, add padding, margin, everything inside the container itself. So this is the container. Let's see if it has a shade. Okay, it has a shade, so it looks better. Okay, so this is the card. Now move to the next. We have a column. So first difference between the column and row is, column is vertically, all the children will be stacked vertically, like first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. So they are stacked vertically, they are arranged vertically, and in the row we arrange the items inside a row like horizontally. So the first one, then second one, so it is a horizontal arrangement, column is about the vertical arrangement. Okay, so let's see the example quickly. Column screen. Okay, so we have column screen, we can copy this part from here and add inside column screen and name it column screen. Let's go back and open the column screen. Okay, so here we have a column inside the body. Okay, so whenever we add a column, let's see, we have 4 text, so 4 text will be aligned vertically. And let's, here we have a container, so let's add a container so that we get the idea how it fills the gray, and give it a width of double dot infinity and some height also, so that (58) and add a padding. Now we have another option for the padding. We can give padding from the all side or just horizontally or vertically. If we pass the horizontal, so it will apply the margin from the horizontal. So whenever we define margin or padding, we have a lot of constructor, like we can define from the all side, we can define either horizontal or vertical or both, or we can define each side separately. So like only, we have only option where we have left, top, right, bottom, so we can define that also. So here we want to use the horizontal so that we can make container look better. Let's refactor it, extract methods so that we can reuse it, don't have to fill it again and again. Refactor, extract. Okay, let's make one stateless, name it box, and return the container. Okay, so here we have a box. Let's add a vertical margin also so that they don't so we have added 5 boxes, so these are arranged vertically. So we have here, see, if we increase it little bit, so it will be equally spaced. So we have a vertical arrangement like vertically arranged box. So here we have a vertically arranged box. So here just a placeholder for the box, we have created our own widget. So you can make custom widgets of your own. We have used just a container and suffix height and width. We don't do that generally. We don't give it height or width. We generally don't give height. We can define the width fixed if we want to fill the screen, otherwise we don't give the height. So for this tutorial purpose I have given the height, so that you can understand how column works. So here we have 5 boxes. So let's see what are the things we get inside this. So we have main axis alignment. So there is two things, main axis alignment and cross axis alignment. So here if we see, the main means what is the main line. So in the column we arrange items on the vertical line. So we arrange items on the vertical line. So in the column main axis alignment will be the vertical. So if we add a space between, so all the elements will be spaced evenly. See, we have 1 2 3 4 5 boxes. We have 5 boxes and we have added a space between. It means it will give equal space between each child. Okay, and we have cross axis alignments. Cross axis alignment for the column is like other axis, like for main axis is the vertical, so cross will be the horizontal. Here we have equal space is equal width for the boxes. So let's reduce it so that you can understand what is cross axis. Let's make it 200. Okay, so this is 200. Okay, let's, so this is the start. Okay, so we need to make it where is expanded. Okay, then if we make it center, not working. Okay, space between and the end. So let's add a row inside that so that it, wait, let's give it a width, size box, this one is width double dot infinity. Okay, so now we have made column to take full width so that we can arrange the items inside that. So when we give it a start, so we'll align to the start. By default it is a center, so cross axis alignment is the center, so all the items will be placed inside the center. So if we want to remove this space, we can make it like this. We have stacked all the items inside the column from the top. If we want to align from the bottom, we can give it end, so they will be stacked from the bottom. Similarly, we have space between center start. So we have seen the start, we have seen the end, we have seen the center. Let's see the center also, because we have seen the space between. So it is now from for the vertical line, vertical axis also it is center, and horizontal axis line it is center. So main axis and cross axis both are center, so it is in the center. So there is like other things. We have space around, so that it will like is when we use space between, it gives the space between the child. When we give space around, it will give space between and around the children. There is also other thing, space evenly, so that here space is lesser and here space is more. So this space it has been equally divided between this top area and this bottom area. So if we give it a space evenly, it will evenly space every child. So this is space, this is space, this is space, all the spaces are same, like equal. So for the cross axis, we have center, we have end, we have start, we have stretch also, so that it stretches the child across the width, across the cross axis. So this is the behavior. You can play with it. I will leave the code in the layout widget branch in Flutter course. You can find it in on the GitHub. I will provide the link in the description. So this is the how column works. We can arrange things inside the column. Let's move to the next. We have row. Next is row. So we will use this box inside that also. So let's copy this part, and we have row screen. Where is row screen? This one. So that we don't have to write everything. So let's make it row screen, and here I will make it row. So we have row, we have okay. So let's give it 58 so that it takes the this one is row screen. So here you can see, because it is overflowing, let's keep the only 3 boxes for now. So we have size box for filling the row. We don't need actually size box when we use row, because the row will be filled automatically, will take all the available space. For the column we don't need to define the height, column will fill all the height automatically. So we have option to control that also. We have main axis size property in the row and column. Default value is I think max or something. Yes, it is. Default value is max. It will fill the whole screen. So we can define if you want to make it min. So let's add a container here so that it becomes clear. Color dot pink. Let's use green. So it is taking only required space. If we remove this, it will take whole space. So it is clear now. Okay, let's quickly move to the arrangement part. So here we have 3 boxes, and all the 3 boxes has been arranged horizontally. Okay, so if we want to, like, we have same option, we have main axis alignment. So in the case of row, main axis alignment is the main line on which we are arranging the child. So here in the column we are arranging the columns childs on the vertical axis. So main axis alignment for the column is the vertical space, but for the row we are arranging children's on the horizontal axis. So for this, main axis alignment will be the horizontal one. So here we will give main axis alignment dot, let's see the center one first. So all the children has been centered between the screen. We have also the cross axis, so it applies the same. The other one, like one is the main axis alignment is the horizontal one, so cross will be the vertical one. So here we want to give it center also, because it is only this much space, so it won't go anywhere. Let's add a size box here so that it fills the height. Double dot infinity. See, so when we define this, it becomes in the center. When we don't define this, it will become like, let's cross check. So cross axis alignment is also the default one is the center, so we don't need to write this one. Default is also center, so we can define the start so that it sticks to the top, or we can define the end so it sticks to the bottom, or we can define the start so that it like start, so it will be here. And if we define end, so it will be here. Let's see, end. So just remember that for the column main axis this one, for the row main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for the column, main axis is the vertical one. For the column, main axis is the horizontal one, for and for the row, cross axis is the vertical one. Okay, so many people get confused between the main axis and cross axis in the rows and the columns. So the axis on which we are arranging the children for the column or row will be the main axis. Inside the column we are arranging on the vertical line, so the vertical will be the main axis, and for the row it will be the horizontal one. So we have seen both the things. Let's keep it in the center and move to the next part, so that you will get this code as it is. And is there anything else? So for the main axis you have same options: center and start, space evenly, space around, space between. You get the idea. Then we have a stack. So let's move to the stack screen, this one. So here let's remove these things, we don't need these things. Okay, don't need this one also. So here we add a stack. Rest is the same, just replacing the body. We have a box. Okay, let's use a container because it has some space. So container, we need to fill it. Okay, so we need to fill it. We need double infinity, and let's take height of around 250. Let's open the stack screen and give it a color so that it becomes visible. Let's use gray one, this one. Okay, let's add a margin from all the sides, all 16. So for the Android, like if we follow material design guidelines, all the units for the padding size and margin defined in the like multiples of 4, 8, 16. So this it is like recommended for the Flutter also. If you are following the material design guideline, so better stick to the 16 by 16 grid system, because on the Android devices we have a lot of customization options, like we can increase display size, we can increase font size, we can increase the density also. So devices come in different density, PPI 400, 500, 300, 320. So that's why we follow like guidelines for the designing. So Google has defined material design guidelines, so in which the 816 grid system has been recommended, so better stick to it. Whenever you define somewhere the height, width, or like margin padding, stick with the 16. Like minimum we can give 2, 4, 8, 16, 24, 32. Like if we talk about the default one, so app bar has height of around 56. Floating button has, like if we go with the bigger one it will have 56, if we go with the smaller one it will have 48. So they defined it, so better follow it. So I am using the same. So let's focus on the stack. So this is the stack. Inside the stack we have a container. Let's say here we were arranging the items vertically or horizontally. What if we want to put one widget on top of another widget, like this is the bigger widget and this is the smaller widget? So for that we need a stack. Here we have 5 children, here we have 5 children, but they are aligned in the like defined inside the column, they are added inside the row. Similarly here we have only 2 children, but they are added inside the row, sorry, stack. So this is a stack, this is the first children and box is the second children. Okay, so both have same color. Let's make it shade 800. Okay, so now the bigger one has a darker shade so that it becomes visible. and we have given it a margin of 16 from all sides, but not given it any margin from all sides. So to align it to this part, we need to wrap inside a positioned widget. Default is not working. Okay, we have position widget. Now we can give it some, like where we want to define it. Like we want on the right side from the top, so we can define top. From top leave 16 space, from right leave 16 space. Now it has, earlier it doesn't have any space, so it will fill. So it is if we haven't defined anything, so all the things are nullable. So we haven't defined anything, so it has no data about the position. So if we have given it, so we have told that go from the top 16, go from the right 16, so it will come to this side like this. And if you want to make it in the center, so we can define from the all sides 16 or 0, whatever, top right and the left one. Okay, so it has came in the center, but it has filled because we have told it to leave 16 space from all side and fill everything. If we remove this one, so it will leave 16 from the top, 16 from the bottom and 16 from the right. So it has left 16 from the top. Let's remove the margin from here, so that add it to the stack, so that both things are aligned perfectly. Okay, so we have given it like from the top and bottom 16 space and from the right side 16 space, because we haven't defined from the left side, so it is taking only available height defined inside this, it is not expanding it. So this is the default behavior of the stack when we want to, like similarly we can add another box. Let's see, we want to keep it in the top top right, another one the top bottom left. So we can remove it from here and we can give it a here. So we have two boxes, one on the top right, another one is a bottom left. Let's say we don't want any space here and here, just give it 0 space, that don't leave any space and go there. So it has came here. Padding, stack, container, height. Okay, so it, the box has margin I think here, that's why it is leaving space, so don't worry about that. Okay, so that's the default behavior. So next we have row and column mix-up. Let's copy it here and go in the row column screen here. Let's switch it row column screen. We don't have this one, we have first row. So now these two things are little bit complex to understand, but once you understood these things, it will be clear to you that how you can make use of rows and columns. So here if we see, the bigger box is, like inside the bigger box we have 1 and 2 3 boxes. So if we look closely, this bigger box and this 2 box combined are aligned on the horizontal axis. So we can use this as a row. So bigger box will be the row, because inside that we have one box and these two box combined, like let's see like this becomes a row, because we have seen on the top that row arranges children on the horizontal axis. So this becomes a row. But here, since we have three like unevenly arranged things, so we might get confused, but don't worry. So for the big thing, we can take a row. Let's add it. We have a row, then we have a bigger box. So here we can add a bigger box, container. We have a box. We have, let's see, give it a 300. Sorry, on this side 300 and this side 100. Okay, make it 250, so that, okay. So we have a row. Inside that we have one big box. We have a row. Inside that we have a one big box. Now we have two smaller children which have been arranged on a vertical axis. So for that we need to use a column inside a row. So here we use box 1 and box 2. Now we have a problem with the column. So we need to, because column fills whole height, so we need to disable that. Main axis size dot min. Now it has become similar like this. Let's increase its height little bit so that it matches the configuration. Okay, so we have a big box, we have a big box, we have two smaller box, we have two smaller box. So this is how we arrange, make use of rows and like a column inside a row. When we have children arranged on horizontal axis, we can use row as a parent, and then inside that we can add a box. Then we can add, like we have to see it in the pieces, like these are the two pieces, then these are the two pieces, like this. Then we will be able to differentiate whether we want to use the row or column. Okay, so this is how we will make a complex layout also like this, but let's go step by step. Then we have another case where we have in the earlier case we had arranged like bigger box, then two smaller box arranged vertically. Here we have a bigger box, then two smaller boxes on the horizontal axis. So here arrow is this arrow is defining the main direction of the whole layout. So main direction was the horizontal one, here main direction is the vertical one. So if we see it in the pieces, like we see that, like we have one box, we have another box arranged vertically, so we can use column as a parent. Then if we see the second child, which was the this one, we see if this one, so we have two boxes in this row, so we can use a row here, so that we can place one box and two box inside a row. So parent will be the column. Let's move to the coding part. Here we have row column screen, then we go to the column row screen. Column row, this one. Okay, CO column row, row column. So if I forget to rename these, just let's import them. So let's remove this part. So as a parent we have a children, like a column, like main axis is the vertical one, so we are using the column. In the previous example we were using row as a parent, so here we are using the column because main the bigger picture is the vertical arrangement, here bigger picture was the horizontal arrangement, so we are using the column. Okay, inside the column we have a big container, bigger box, so it has like full width, So let's give it a full width, double dot infinity. So it has like filled the screen. Let's reduce its height little bit. Okay, so now we have a column, inside that we have a box, and if we add another box, so we have now two boxes. Now we want, like, in place of this box we want to break it into the two pieces like this. So instead of this we can use a, in place of the direct container we can use a row, and we can here fill it like twice. Now when we want to divide some space in, like divide a row into the equal space, then if we use double infinity and double infinity, it will won't work. So in place of this we can wrap it inside the expanded layout. When we wrap both the layouts inside the expanded, they will be broken into equal width. Like when we add expanded inside the row, it will assign equal space to all the children whatever has been wrapped inside the expanded on the, like, out of the row space, like width. If we use expanded inside the column, like here inside the column, it will assign the equal height to each children inside the column. So we need to wrap it expanded and this one expanded, then both will have the same height, like expanded and this one expanded. See, because it has don't have any background here, let's add a background here also so that you can get better idea. Let's add it red dot shade 100, a lighter red color. So see, here we have had the margin padding also, that's why the space is showing. Otherwise this is how expanded works. Now if we make it flexible, see the difference. Let's remove this one, remove here, remove here. So remove this also. So flexible works like it takes the available space depending on the child's let's add a child here, text some data. See, now we have defined a child. Flexible is making it to take only like space available for the child, not the whole available space. If we make it expanded, it will take whole available space. So this is the difference between the expanded and the flexible. So for now we are focusing on this, making this. So just need to reduce the height and it will come to the same shape like this. Now when we want to arrange, like here main axis was the vertical one, so we used column as a parent. Here the main axis was the horizontal one, so we used row as a parent. Inside that we had this one column, inside this we have this one as a row. Now let's move to this example. It is a more complex, you will better understand when you see this example, how you can make a complex screen UI designs. So let's move to the stack row column. So on this part, let's copy this stack row column, where it is stack row column. Okay, now we have defined this one, app bar, stack column rows or row column, same. Okay, so we have a body here. So we have parent as a stack as a parent. So let's go here. So now if we see, we have a container on which we have a column. On the bottom side we have a row. Here you can see the things have been arranged on the horizontal line. So this one is one child, this two are one combined child. So inside that we have a column. So you need to like observe from this perspective that you see the bigger picture. We see that here the things are arranged horizontally. So this one is one child, this one is another child, and in second child we have two child like this. If we do this, now it is clear that it is the row. Inside that we have two boxes. Now if we break into two pieces, now it has become a column. Inside that it has two boxes arranged vertically. Here arranged vertically, one box, here one row, inside that one box, and another column inside that two boxes. So when we need to arrange things on top of each other, we use a stack. So let's use a stack. Here we have stack. Now we need a bigger box. We can add a container, color gray, colors dot gray. What is the issue? Oh sorry, we are assigning it to the child. Okay, we have a color and a box, so we need to make it like 300 so that it becomes like that. Let's we use a lighter shade. It is too light. 300. Okay, it's okay. Now inside the stack we have one, like here mostly in the apps we use image. Here on image we have some buttons like mark as favorite or share button arranged vertically. On the bottom we have some like person profile pic and his name, or images, title and description. Like on the YouTube we have main YouTube's home screen video card is like this one, like this. So now we can design this. We have a stack, inside that we have a container. Now on the top of container we have two things arranged vertically. So let's here we can define image here inside the child image like this, but in this example we don't need that. Now we need a column to arrange to make two buttons here. So we can use a children. Now we can use the box that we created previously and we can make it twice. So these have been arranged vertically, but they are on the left top side. So we have we have seen in the previous example that when we want to arrange something inside the stack, we can use positioned or align. So there is another thing called align. So in this example we will talk about the positioned. So here we want to give it like top 16 and right 16, I think. Okay, so it has become like this. Now we need a thing here. So we need a row. So let's add a container so that we can add a color to the row. So here we have gray and its child will be the row. Add a comma here. Children here. Okay. I think we should explore other things in the next video. For now, after this we have grid and list. We will talk these things in the next video. For now, let's complete this and end this video so that it won't become boring. So we have a row, inside that we have two boxes. We have row, inside that let's use the flex this time. Now we have a row, inside that we have two boxes. Let's darken this, use a dark shade so that it becomes differentiable. Okay. Now we have let's give it a margin of, instead of margin we can add a position here. So we want to align it to this box stack. Let's give it a main axis size here also, or fit stack fit dot loose. Okay, so it will be like take only space that is available for the child, like depending on the child's height width. So here if you want to align, so it will be aligned like, if we want to align these things, ting 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 ting, like this. And here position, okay, we have from bottom 16 and left 16 and right 16, like this. So if you want to fill it, we can use expand like this. Okay, so now because it doesn't have any padding, it has a padding, so instead of that we can add from the bottom 32, from the left 32, and this one. So it comes inside this one. So for now let's keep it loose so that it takes only required space for the child's, and it will become like this. So from the bottom we have only 16, like this. So in place of the second child we have two children. So in place of the second we can wrap it inside the column, reduce its height to 25 or 4, add another one. See, this is very simple. So here you see this one is smaller and this one is bigger. For that we can use a flex. Like inside this row we want to divide the available space, like give it 3 out of 10, give it 7 out of 10. So it will be like this. So for the expanded there is another view. If you don't to divide in equal spaces, you can use flex. By default it is 1 and 1. So it will, the total of these all, like if you have only 2 expanded, total of these will be out of total of these it will assign 3 to this part and 7 to this part. If you have like 3 inside this, then now the total is 7, 3 plus 3, it is 13. So out of 13 it will assign 3 to this, 3 to this, and 7 to this. So this is how flex works. So for now for this example we don't need 3 boxes, we can only use, we need only 2. So if we remove the space from here and here, we will see it is filling. So instead of symmetric we can use the end right one, and for this, so it needs a vertical space because we also need space from the bottom. So you can play with it, you can give it more, like you can make it exactly like this. This will be your assignment, how you can give it a margin, padding only specific, like all the things are very neatly aligned. You can play with these values. For that I give you a hint that you can use it here only, and for this top one give margin from top and right, for this one give margin from top, right and bottom, and for this one give margin from all sides, so it will be equally spaced. So this is the behavior we wanted to achieve. Now we have done it. In the next video we will compare like grid system. This one is vertical grid arranged vertically, so scroll direction will be the vertical one, we will scroll up. In this layout, the grid, it is also a grid, but it is scrolling horizontally, it is not scrolling vertically. And this is the list and list tile. So this one single child is the list tile. We have a lot of options for that. We can add option widget for here, widget for here, widget for here, widget for here. So these things are arranged vertically, but only a single column, so it will be the list. These things are arranged horizontally, it is a horizontally scrolling list. So thanks for watching. We will meet in the next video with these 4 things. I will explain all these things in the next video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.